Alrighty, we are pleased to be joined by an absolute legend from Saskatoon. He has won numerous Sask Jams, Mid-Ams, and so much more. He's our 100th guest on Off the Hosel, Mr. Jim Scissons. Thanks for coming on today, Jim.
You're very welcome. Nice to be here with you.
So, Jim, let's first off, how are things with you? What's new? What's going on? And what's up in Jim's world?
Well, right now it is probably +2 outside. No snow, which is a good thing. Donna and I are looking forward to heading to Arizona next week. So we're looking forward to that, getting ready for it.
Well, it must be nice.
Yes. Yeah, it really is.
Hey, Jim, I want to talk about growing up in Saskatoon, sports, hobbies. What were you up to as a youngster? Obviously you golf and, you're very good, but, all good. Just walk us through what you were doing as a youngster.
Boy, moved to Saskatoon from a little town called Lucky Lake when I was, 6 years old. And we lived 3 blocks from Victoria School. And then I went to St. Joseph's, which is another 3 blocks beyond that. But having said that, Victoria School was part of Playground Saskatoon in terms of rinks. So they had 2 rinks there, essentially one for hockey and one for skating. And then so I just loved to be down there. That was my weekend location, skating in the afternoon or evening, pardon me. And Sunday after church, we would go there and have a Royal Shinny game. And there was people there who would be my age at that time. I was probably 8 or 9 or 10, to guys who played junior hockey. They'd be 18 or 19 or 20 years old. And it was a great mixture of how to spend a Sunday afternoon. That's a long way from golf.
No, that's perfect. Well, speaking of golf, when did golf become a passion, and were you good at it right away?
I learned how to play golf at age 9. Took lessons from Bill Turnbull, who was the professional at the Riverside Golf Course at the time, and he had a winter school in the basement of a building that Blanche Buchanan's had. I would remember that. I have no idea. But anyway, there was probably 7 or 8 different stalls, and my mother took my brother down, and I think my sister maybe came too on occasion. But anyway, we learned how to swing a golf club, and then we went out to Riverside, obviously in the spring of the year, and that was something else. Do you remember the golf course at all?
Riverside?
Corey would. Corey, with the 18th hole, do you know where that is today?
At Riverside?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well,
I think back then 18 and 1 were reversed, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. But before there was that hole adjacent to the river, that was garbage. It was bush. It was Caraganas. You could just make an ugly area down there. And unfortunately, when I was growing up, I hit the ball down there quite often. The good news is that other people hit it down there as well. So occasionally I would go down on that side and find some golf balls to play with.
Oh yeah.
That's what you did when you were 9 and 10 years old.
Trust me, I'm not a stranger to that place. I've been down there many times to bring out 10 or 15.
Jim, I wanted to bring up before we get into the amateur side of things. When you were a junior golfer, did you have much success right away, or did you win some junior events? Walk us through your junior career first.
Well, after I went, I started playing golf at Riverside, but it was a long drive, relatively speaking, back then, and so I could leave St. Joseph's, hop on a bus or trolley at that time, and go to the exhibition grounds and walk about 600 yards to the city golf course. And Mervyn and Ronnie Folk, who were friends of mine, we would do this every day, to get out there. And and played 9 holes on the Pansy 9 or do whatever. But anyway, it was a kind of a thing that we could do after school. It was so that was an easy part of it. It was more easy. It was easier than summertime when you had to find a way to get out there, which wasn't always easy to do.
So, Jim, I want to talk about the Sask Amateur, in 61, 63, 67, 69, 70, 94. You were champion 6 times. First off, that's 6 more than I have ever done. Probably 6 more than I ever will. But how did that feel? What was it like? And especially winning your first one?
Well, if I could remember that would, I'd like to be able to enlighten you on that one. That was such a long time ago. I don't even remember where it was, to be quite frank.
Jim, what the hell happened between 70 and 94?
3 children, a beautiful wife, work.
I know the program. Okay, we're on the same page. That's unreal. And then you won 4 mid-ams.
Yes, it was. That was an easier program at that point in time. The competition as an amateur player was lots. As a mid-am, it wasn't quite as tough. So it was maybe an easier point to be at in terms of playing. And I'm not trying to minimize the guys who were playing in the tournament. It's just that there was more competition at the amateur than there was at the mid-am.
Oh yeah, clearly. So tell us about, Scott told me you won Arizona State Am.
I did.
Is that right?
I did.
Yeah, walk us through that.
How tough was that?
Well, it was kind of amazing. After I graduated from Saskatchewan, I went down to get my master's degree in phys ed at Arizona State. And while I was there, the first year, the Arizona State Amateur Championship was held out at a golf course on the west side of Phoenix. Connor just called it Wigwam. That's right, Connor. There's Wigwam Golf Course, which is still there today, I think. But anyway, it was about a 25-minute drive or 30-minute drive out to this golf course. And there was really nobody that I knew that was playing in the tournament. I was just a country bumpkin from Canada. So out we went, and actually, it's not true. Mike Morley, who was from North Dakota, we had known each other. So, but other than that, out I went and qualified, and ended up playing against Mike along the way. And then my final match was against a fellow from Chicago who was going to Arizona State at the time, but didn't make the golf team. So it was a couple of lesser known lights who were playing, as opposed to, there's some really good amateur players that are not necessarily going to school. They're 35 or 40 years of age. I can't relay them onto you, but anyway, it was really enjoyable. And the last day we played in wind, and I don't think the fellow I played against had any clue what was going on with all that wind. And I had, of course, being from Saskatchewan, you did get used to it along the way, and you were able to hit shots that were better defined. And so I had a bit of an advantage, but yet it wasn't like I overwhelmed them, because it went to the 17th hole of the second round. So it was a long day. But anyway, victories are wonderful.
That's incredible. Did you have a chance to play at Arizona State if you wanted to?
No, I did not. I was a graduate student. And it just, you had to be an undergraduate to play on the team.
Okay.
Jim,
I got you.
was there ever a time that you thought, hey, maybe I could, try and play pro golf?
Only in my dreams.
Jim.
Nothing more than that. That when we go down to Arizona State, when I was there, and I'm watching these guys come on the golf, and it got me with Joe Porter, and was one of them. Morley was another who tried the tour. Gosh, I can't think of the other guy's name. And they all were good players, I mean, they would probably beat me 4 times out of 6 kind of thing. And ultimately they tried the tour and were unsuccessful. They had enough money to last a year on that tour, but if you don't make any money and if you don't qualify X number of times, you're not there anymore. And so all of them tried but failed. And that was a pretty good indication that I shouldn't give that a try.
And they weren't making much money back then either.
No, they weren't. There was, compared to today, not a chance. And all of them were either had wealthy parents or were somehow able to make a connection with the community. I know that people in Minot supported Mike because that's where he was from. But Joe Porter and God, I can't think of this other guy's name, were both sons of wealthy parents. And so they were able to foot the bill for them. But I think, the guy's name is George Boutel. I don't know whether that rings a bell with anybody, but anyway, George was really a good player. He was good at everything. He didn't all necessarily all that long, but he was a good iron player and a good putter, just a short game guy. And he didn't do it. So
sounds kind of like Jim Scissons. Good iron player and good putter. Hey,
I wish.
Let's talk about the 64 Wellington Cup team when you guys won at Riverside. Like, how cool was that? That's the only time Saskatchewan's ever done it.
Yes,
that must have been a pretty good honor.
That was amazing. And the significance of that was that everybody arrived at that golf course. Like all the teams come in and they're there for a couple of days and they're hitting balls and playing. And I think the consensus was it was a pretty easy golf course. But the day of play, the wind was blowing about 35 or 40 miles an hour. And all of a sudden, these guys who didn't bother playing in those kind of conditions were faced with having to hit shots. And you would not believe some of the scores that occurred. I mean, the guys that came from Quebec couldn't believe that this is what they were going to play in. I mean, it was a joke is what it was. It was kind of fun because I wouldn't say we were belittled, but we're considered somewhat inferior when we had gone to previous amateurs and Wellington Cup trials. But this day, Keith Reaver and Eddie Ross just shot the lights out. I think Keith shot 69 and Eddie shot 71. And they were by far better than anybody else in the field. And it gave us a great first day score. Second day was almost as windy and it was almost as competitive. But anyway, I think at the end of the day, one of them shot 141, one shot 143. And I was hanging along with a guy named Ernie Greenlee from Regina, and Ernie and I weren't very good. Ernie was a pretty good wind player, but he just didn't play very well. And nevertheless, we hung on and for a victory, and that's been our one and only, which is I'm very proud of.
That Absolutely. Is incredible.
Yeah. Winners win. Jim, I wanted to ask you about this. Just mean, like, I don't know. I've golfed with your grandson Connor there in the back, and he's a hell of a player as well. How much, like, when you were playing and at the best of your game, when you had the time, were you on the range 6 days a week? Were you playing lots? Were you playing more than practicing? For people that are listening that want to win and want to be as successful as you, do you say practice is more important than playing, or playing is more important than practice? I mean, where are you on that?
Well, there's a magical combination of that. You certainly do have to hit the driving range along the way. You got to not only learn how to hit shots, but hit different shots, and learn how to play in the wind and on calm days. So all that is part of the learning process. But you also need to play golf. You need to get out on the golf course and learn how to handle whatever it might that come your way as far as being on those days as well. So I think there's a happy combination in there. I don't think you can practice forever. You need to get on the golf course. You've got to find out how to play.
Jay, I want to talk about two
Sorry,
studs alongside. Oh, what's that, Tori? You good?
No, I was saying I agree with Jim. I'm sorry I interrupted. That's all.
All good. Okay, I want to bring up two other guys that are, I've heard nothing but good things about them as well, and their golf career alongside yourself. Doug Mater and Ed Ross and yourself. Any stories from your guys' playing days?
Wow. Well, I didn't know Doug until I went to university, and Doug, we were both at that time. University had a golf team, and they would try to qualify early in the month of September, and then by the end of that month, we would go to Edmonton or Vancouver or to Winnipeg. There was only 4 schools in the conference at that time. I did get to know Doug all that well. Doug was in the College of Engineering, and they thought they were pretty elite compared to the rest of us. Now they might have been right, but we weren't gonna allow them to accept that kind of thing. So Doug and I, we've been friends a lot of time, but it didn't get particularly close. Eddie and I, on the other hand, we knew each other a lot better than that. Eddie's really, really a nice guy. One of the stories about Eddie that I remember, and I don't know whether he was 19, 20, 21, early in the golfing career. Eddie went to the driving range and he took a sprinkler with him, and he turned the sprinkler on, and he was playing in the rain with his rain equipment on. Have you ever heard of anything like that before?
That'd be a negative.
and that's where Eddie's mind was going at times. He is the nicest man in the world, but you know what? You wonder at times what page he is on.
I've met him a couple times. He is an absolute sweetheart.
Yes, he is. So that's my Eddie Ross. Eddie's a good guy, and we have been in the past years playing a seniors tournament, Saskatoon seniors out at Moon Lake, and Eddie has not come out. I think he might have come for one, and I don't know why he's not been out there and playing with us. I don't know whether he's even playing golf anymore, which would be too bad. I recognize that our golf skills diminish as we get older, but if you're competitive, you're trying to hang on. You've got both hands digging in, and those golf grips deteriorate pretty quickly.
It's kind of like hockey. Even if you're not that good, it's still fun to hang out with the boys.
That is
even if you're 40th place, it doesn't matter.
That's exactly right. Yep, exactly right.
Yeah, Ed. I remember Ed would always follow Luke Sheard, who's another guy, Drew, we need to get on the podcast.
Yes.
Luke is a weapon.
Very, very nice man. Yeah.
One of the most talented guys I've ever played with.
Tori, I didn't play a lot with Luke, so I have no idea. And I think by the time I might have tried to play with him, he'd hit it about 70 yards past me, so it was no fun anyway. So I would have.
Well, I'm on the same page with you. He hit 70 past me with his 2-iron.
Yeah, he had a bit of a time where he was competitive. He was in the forefront of amateur golf, and yet it didn't last that long, and all of a sudden Luke disappeared. And so I have no idea where he is today.
Yeah, no, he's got I believe 2 boys, but yeah, just an unreal talent for sure.
Yeah,
I've got a very random question, Drew. This could have been on the 9-question deal, but is Scissons Crescent named after you?
I believe it is, but it could be after my dad too.
Oh, okay. That's just I didn't know where I had it written down to ask.
My father had a significant presence in the Catholic school board. He was so he was he was present as far as the community goes. But I think it's maybe in his mind because they're all athletes in that area. And yeah. I guess they consider golf to be an athletic event.
Because I saw there's McWillie over there. He was a big softball pitcher.
Yes, absolutely. Gene McWillie.
So I kind of figured it might have been you.
Yeah.
Jim, I wanted to bring up, Golf Sask Hall of Fame and Sask Sports Hall of Fame. What does that mean to you and, your family? I guess long story short, just what it meant to you being inducted into both Hall of Fames.
Huge honor. It's nice to be recognized. Pardon me, but I don't know where to take it. I don't think I deserve to be there, but having said that, it's nice to be there.
I'm gonna call a bull on that one. You don't think you deserve to be there?
Tori, there's some really good athletes in Saskatchewan, and I don't recognize myself as being one of those. So
I'm looking at one right now.
Thank you.
Tori, you have any more here before we go into our questions?
Oh, I got a million.
Okay.
How about, so do you have some any good lobstick or northern stories? I'm sure you played in a few of those.
Oh boy, Tori, we did. It was pretty much an annual event going both to PA and then up to Waskesiu. Waskesiu was typically held in the month of August. The northern was early in August, and I can remember going to PA as a young guy with Clayton Robb and Cliff Schmatz, Murray Armstrong. Four of us were all players at the city golf course, and we went to play in this tournament. And for some reason, it got really cold overnight. So the third hole. Do you remember the third hole, Corey? You go up a hill.
R5.
Yeah, we couldn't get up to the top of the hill where the tee was because there was so much ice on the roadway.
No way.
And in the grass, yes, it was. And we had toques on and mitts on and whatever trying to play. It was an absolute debacle. But having said that, it was just one of my queer moments of remembering what happened in Prince Albert. Lots of fond memories of playing. My first lobstick that I played in the championship, I played John Kilburn. Now, John Kilburn grew up at the city golf course in Saskatoon, graduated from engineering, and then went to Edmonton. And John just hit the ball forever. Like if I hit it 230, he hit it 270 kind of thing. And it was one of the most frustrating 4 hours to 6 hours I played golf because I was always looking up. And you can't play golf looking up all the time. So every once in a while, you've got to look down and think, okay, I'm good now. I think I can handle this. But boy, he was up right from the get-go. And I think it finished on 14 of the second round. So it was a sad day in my life that I remember. But John was a good golfer.
Hey, do you have any good Rowell stories? I'm sure you know Gary Riley.
Gary Riley is a legend in PA, and I know him. I know him as that, but I don't know the Riley stories because he's guys will talk about him as saying Gary did this, Gary did that, whatever. But there wasn't something that I was involved with that would relate back to him and saying, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened when I was out playing golf with Riley. I don't have that memory. I'm sorry. He's a individual. I think he had some skill along the way. He was a reasonably successful golfer, but certainly one of the unique individuals in Prince Albert.
Hey, Jim, I wanted to bring up too, collegiate level golf. I know you played golf at U of S in the 60s, but was there ever a chance of going down south to play at an American college? Or how did that work back then, I guess?
Had I gone to university in the States, that would have been one way of getting there. But I never saw that as an opportunity. I lived 8 blocks from the University of Saskatchewan, so why wouldn't I go to school there, kind of thing. And there wasn't a connection with U.S. golf. U.S. golf was not that large at that time. and yet, having said that, when I went down and got my master's degree, that was big at that time with in those southern states. Certainly, Arizona State and company. They were really involved in golf. There's a lot of recruiting going on.
Tori, you want to
So,
ask
Jim-
the last one or what?
Oh, I can ask, like I said, 100 questions. Jim, I've heard from a few people over the years, because we've known each other for 15 years probably now.
How many?
Probably, I would guess 15. No,
Keep on
shoot,
going.
probably 20 actually.
Keep on going, Dory.
Yeah, I was just a baby when I met. But I've heard from a lot of people that you can get fiery on the golf course. When you were playing competitively, do you think that helped you, hurt you, or a little bit of both?
Well, one of the things that happened, Tori, when you started playing competitive golf at a provincial or national level, you really had to behave yourself. And I couldn't I couldn't behave like I might have, on a Wednesday afternoon golf game at the city golf course. There things happen there that your disappointments they're not shared, but people look at you and say, you hit that shot, and then all of a sudden they got something going through the air, and you're thinking, oh, why did I do that? But having said that, I had that type of I guess a psyche that was my way of releasing the tension and my disappointment and my anger. That was, I expected better things of what I was doing, and yeah.
No, that's still. I think anyone who's competitive has kind of the same reaction. We've all been there, and then we all grow up and learn from it.
Yes.
Because I used to be a snap show too. So, and then you see other guys do it, and it's like, well, maybe I should just probably not do that. I'll just cuss myself in my head.
Welcome to the club, eh?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm going to ask this one here for this kind of mean Tori talked about this off the record, Jim, but did anyone ever intimidate you or scare you or at any level?
Oh, what a good question that is. I don't think I was ever intimidated. And I don't think I was ever scared. I knew that the golf is a challenge, and whether it's your challenge or your challenge to beat or compete with somebody else, that challenge is always there. I didn't ever feel that I couldn't answer it along the way. A couple of times when I made the Wellington Cup team and we would go to play in various locations, I played with some really good players like Bob Wiley and Doug Silverberg, Keith Alexander, Gary Cowan. Come to my mind, Peter Hope, and I was never intimidated by their presence. I always competed with them, and I think that for the most part, they had poor rounds of golf as well as I did. So, we were all on the same page, so to speak. Some days are better than others, as I'm sure you understand.
Absolutely.
All my days are good, Jim.
Tori, if you got any more here, I'm going to save them for their questions from the gallery. Okay. So off to our segment called Questions from the Gallery, sponsored by Molson Coors. Coors Seltzer on a mission, helping restore fresh water to Canada's river through the Change the Coors Foundation. Enjoy the Coors Seltzer mixer pack with 4 great flavors: black cherry, mango, grapefruit, and lemon lime. These are all good choices. Make sure you drink and drive responsibly at all times, please. Thank you so much.
Shout out, Dave.
Shout out, Dave Stewart.
Yeah, we agree.
All right, Jim, we got some questions here for you. Questions that I wrote down this morning because I got to know, and I want to know. Lowest round.
63.
Where?
Decent.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember now where I shot it. I think I was down in the States when I shot that number, and I think it was at a municipal golf course that's in the center of Phoenix. but that's all I've got for you right now.
Hey, that's perfect.
What's your lowest round and at Riverside?
Oh, I think I was 67. I don't think I got to the 6 number, but I think it was 67.
I might have you there, Jim.
Yeah, but Tori,
I had technology on my side, though.
Tori.
I would expect that, Tori.
Yeah, I was playing from the Reds.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Jay, I'm going to ask one more here. Hole-in-ones, how many?
15.
Yeah, Connor told me 14 or 15.
I think it was.
What?
I think it was 15, but
Is that good?
15 hole-in-ones. All right, this has been fun, Jim. We'll talk to you later. No.
that means you're lucky 15 times is what went on.
15 hole-in-ones.
Yep.
Jim, when was your first and when was your last?
Oh my. First hole in one, I think, was at the 7th hole at the City Club, which is like 125 yards with a raised green kind of thing.
Is that the one over the water?
No. It's not, Tori. It's,
No, I know. It's right by the clubhouse. Never mind.
With the bunker in front, right?
I'm trying to think of where it is. Oh, you know what?
There's a little pond there, isn't there? Like with the bunker?
No, you're thinking of number 8. I don't think number 7 was on the other. No, it wasn't either. So it's disappeared. As far as I can recall.
So dumb right now, Drew.
I'm just thinking of where the heck it would be. It would be, sorry guys.
No, all good.
No, I haven't got anything for you. I think they've redesigned the golf course, and I think they took that one out of play.
I gotcha. When was your most recent?
Ooh. What a good question that is. Can I come back and answer that in another hour or so?
No.
Well, when you have 15 hole ones, it's hard to remember all of them. So that's impressive by all means.
I think the last one I had was at the 6th hole of the Regina Club.
Nice.
I'm not sure what that would mean anything to you, but
What could be the seventh hole, par 3?
Well, I thought 6 was a par 3.
No, par 4. 7's a par 3, elevated. Who knows? Now we're all off. Next question.
Isn't 7 a little dog's leg left? And then 8 goes along the road as a par 5. And 9 comes back to the clubhouse.
So the old course, 16 was a short par 4 wrapped around, and then 17 is a par 5.
Okay, well, they must have changed it since I was there last then, because that's not that I recall. Yeah.
Tori.
Okay, so Jim, not to bring your age up, but how many times have you broken your age?
No clue, Tori. It's something that I've never.
Are we talking a lot?
Well, I think quite often, but it's something I've never been, thought of as doing, and coming off the golf course and thinking, oh, I shot my age today, or I was better than I've never thought that was significant. So I don't even think about it. Sorry, I can't answer that one for you.
No, that's fine. Do you recall the first time you did it? Like 68, 69, 70, somewhere in there?
No, I do not. Sorry.
Okay, Jim. Dream foursome. Your ultimate foursome.
Oh boy, who would I want to play golf with? There is so many that I enjoy playing golf with. There's very few people that I've played with that I've said, I don't want to play with that guy again, or that lady, or whatever it might have been. I enjoy most people. Dream foursome. I would have liked to have played with Arnold Palmer. I think that he would have been just a hoot to play with. I think that he would be good fun. Nicholas would be fun as well, but he'd be off the other side of the coin, so to speak, because he's so different between the two of them. Who would the third be in there? Boy, I don't think. Sure. That's a good completion of it, for sure.
There you go. What's that, Drew?
What do you got next?
Oh, I can talk all day. Jim, I just want to say this to you. You're my golf hero. I mean, you are the man. You have to have the most decorated career in Saskatchewan amateur golf. I don't even think it's close.
Well, I've had great success, and it's all been a lot of fun too, Corey. It's been a treat to be able to play golf. Lucky to have been able to start and play. Corey, I had the good fortune of being the son of my dad, who was a successful auto dealer, and so I was able to have the funds to get things started, and I think it just kept on going thereafter. So, yeah, I've enjoyed every decade of playing golf. When the kids came along, I wasn't quite as active, but I still was able to play a little bit. My beautiful wife said she thought I should go out and get some fresh air, so away I went.
Perfect. Speaking of your wife, did you meet her in Arizona or Saskatchewan?
No, she's a Saskatchewan gal.
Okay.
Saskatoon, you bet. Yeah.
I gotcha. I'm going to go down memory lane real quick here, Drew, if you don't mind.
By all means.
So Jim and I have battled twice, I believe, in the SAS team championships at Riverside. And Jim, the first time we played was the first. I'd known you, but we never played together. And I was paired with Dean Ermintrout, and we were playing you and Scott. And I just remember on hole 3 and 4 at Riverside, I think you hit driver hybrid into both of them and made back-to-back 40-footers. And I'm hitting 900 pitching wedge into both of them. And I was like, this guy is a animal. Like, we couldn't beat you. You guys smoked us.
Well, I had a good partner at that point in time, so it wasn't just me. It was Scott was a good player.
You're the one that was making the birdie.
I haven't heard of the name Dean Ermintrout for a while.
No. And then we played together. It was you and him. I think we were playing in the semis, and it was you and Scott versus me and Ron Gilowich. And I think it went 4 extra holes or something like that.
Oh. And did you win that one?
Maybe.
You shouldn't be so bashful about that. Step up and say, yes,
I'm scared to say I ever beat you.
That happened more frequently than you might believe.
You're lying.
All right, Jim. Favorite course in Saskatchewan?
Oh, boy. I spent a lot of time when a young kid playing at Waskesiu. I really enjoy playing up there. I enjoy it particularly when it's in good condition, and fellas, this year it was in good condition. I would say that would be my favorite golf course. I don't have a lot on the other end of the scale, so but Saskatoon I think would lead the play, and I really enjoyed PA as well. PA was a good golf course. Did you ever know Hubert Cook? Hubert Cook was the pro manager when I was like 16 years of age, and he was. I would say he would be called a disciplinarian. There was no fooling around on the golf course. And if there was, Hubert would know about it, and he would bring that to your attention in short order. So I can remember going up there as a kid and thinking, oh boy, I got to behave myself. I can't be doing that. Oh my.
Jim, this is out of nowhere. As far as favorite course in Saskatchewan, I honestly feel like North Battleford is underrated. Like no one ever brings it up. I love that golf course.
I agree with you, Troy. It's a good course. I don't know. Maybe the holes like
There's a few on the back I think that are pretty average, but overall I just love it. It's always in good conditions. The greens are fast, they're good.
yeah.
Everything's awesome.
Do you know that there's a like from 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7? There's some holes in there that are. It's hard to get, a target where you're going to. It's you see you hit it at the pin, but having said that, you're looking for center of the green or where is that relative to where I am, and I've always found that to be difficult. But it's a good golf course. I agree, Tori.
Oh yeah, no, that was kind of random out of nowhere, but sorry, Drew.
No, it's all good. You're the randomizer question. Jim, I have 2 more for you. And then usually the last one is usually how we end things off. But first one is favorite or post-beverage round drink. What are you having?
Amber rum and Diet Coke.
That's fine. I love it. Last one here for me, and I don't know if Tori's anymore, but this is usually how we like to end things off in fashion. But, some advice for a young listener today, what it takes to make it, what it takes to be a 15-time provincial champion, have the success that you've had, whether it's, you want to be a doctor in life or pro golfer or whatever it is, just some advice for a young listener today.
I think you've got to have some intensity about what you're doing. I think that, you have a love of the game of golf, and so it's enjoyable to play. But I think that you've got to have something else that just says, I think I can do this better. I think I need to do this better. I think I might need to take a lesson from someone that can take me where I need to go. I mean, when you're a young kid growing up, you have no clue how to play out of sand. None. And one of the things that happened to me, along the line, I had played with Herb Pinger Sr. Herb was Pinger's Drugs, and he was a pretty competitive golfer. We were playing out of Riverside, and I think that I putted out of a sand trap. and he looked at me and he kind of like, really? How bad is that? So I got home, and I think a day later, Herb phoned me and said, Jim, you can't play golf that way. So let's go out and we'll spend an hour or 2, and I'm going to show you how to hit golf shots out of bunkers. And so we went out to the 16th hole at the City Golf Club. I don't know whether you remember that way back when, but anyway, there was windy as heck out there. There was nobody on the golf course, so it was pretty easy. We took a bunch of balls out, and he showed me, how to stand, how to hit it, what the target was going to be, what's going to happen to the face of the club. I mean, he really was. He was a good player, but also a good educator, and so that memory has helped me forever.
Wow. Jim, first off, I want to say I appreciate your time. I know Tori does. Everyone's going to love this interview. The 100th episode, no better way to, what do you want to say? Start how we finish how we started. But 100th episode, Jim Scissons, we appreciate your time. And I look forward to, meeting you in person down the road here.
Nice to be with you both. Thanks very much, fellas.
Thank you so much, Jim. It was such an honor. It was great talking to you.
Good to see you again, Tori.
Take care, Jim.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye.